Hello and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about traveling for the very first time. There was a really good email that came out this week from Nomadic Matt. If you don't follow Nomadic Matt, I would recommend that you do that because he is one of the best out there. But it's the 9 things to know before you start traveling for the first time. I'm going to take you through these. I'm also going to tell you about the couple that I don't agree with, but I'm going to tell you some alternatives to those as well. First thing, please don't forget to subscribe below and hit the little bell as well. That helps us grow our channel and you will get all notifications of future videos as well. So, number 1 thing to know before you start traveling, according to Nomadic Matt, is don't be afraid. Really, I didn't travel for the longest time because it just is kind of scary, right? Like you're going to a new place. Even if you're with other people and people you trust, it's still really scary to go to a place that you don't know. But the more you travel and the more you do it, you realize it's not scary at all. This is somebody's home. This is an amazing place. It will open up your mind about culture, about everything else in the world. So the more you do it, the less scary it gets. But that first time is so scary. So my recommendation is the first time you travel internationally is to go somewhere that's not so scary. For instance, I went to London because there's no language barrier. It's very, I was told it's Europe light. It's kind of very similar to the United States. So find somewhere that you find not scary. And even if you're staying in your own country, find somewhere similar to your hometown because that will show you that it's not scary. And then you can start to kind of expand out from there. Number 2, don't wait too long. And I will tell you, I'm going to take this with a little bit of a grain of salt because you know what? I am a firm believer it is never too late. If you're 70 years old and you've never left the country, do it. It's okay. Just, it really is never too late. However, don't wait too long either because you can do it now. You can do it next year because I always used to tell myself, I'll do it someday, I'll do it someday. And that's why I never did it. And let me tell you, the second that you start, it's going to get very addictive and then you're going to want to do it over and over again. So that's the only thing. However, just do it now and don't plan for someday, plan for now. Number 3, and this is one I have a hard time with, is go with the flow. He recommends that you don't book your hotels. You switch things up. You do things as you go. I have a hard time with that because I'm very OCD, black and white kind of person. I like to have all my hotels booked 6 months in advance. But I'm really trying to open my mind to this of saying, you know what? I don't need to book everything in advance. It's okay. I think I watched one movie once where there was no hotels in the whole city. And so that's kind of where my trepidation comes in. But you know what? It's fun to do that because then you're not stuck to anything. You don't have to say, well, we don't really like this city, but we have 2 more days at a hotel here, so let's wait until we go to the next city. So it's okay to go with the flow. It's okay to not plan as much stuff, kind of have a loose itinerary. Number 4, I have a hard time with this one as well. He says to take it easy and slow it down. Enjoy your trip. You don't need if you're going to Europe, you don't need to plan 8 different cities on your first trip. Plan 1 city, maybe 2 cities, and really enjoy it. I have had a hard time where I'm like, oh, it's 7 days. Let's try 7 different cities. And you know what? You don't get to enjoy it as much because you're always running, you're always in a hurry, and you're always tired, let me tell you. So I will tell you that I agree with him on this one, that you should really not try to overdo it and instead really just enjoy it. Get out there, enjoy some lunch during the day, a glass of wine, something like that. Don't feel like you have to be running all day to see as much as humanly possible. Enjoy it because you are on vacation. All right, number 5, avoid giving banks your hard-earned money. And what he's saying here is when you go to an ATM in a foreign country, it gets very expensive. So don't do that. I somewhat disagree with this one, I will tell you, because for me, the easiest way to get foreign funds is to go to an ATM. And it's not like I do it every day, but I'll do it usually when I first get there and then maybe one other time on a trip, just so that you know you have those foreign funds. And I will also tell you that the fees are really not that bad. And I don't mind doing it as long as you don't go at the airport. So if you first land and you get it at the airport, then it is going to be very spendy. They're going to be charging you some fees. For instance, I went to Las Vegas a couple months ago. I forgot to get money before I went. It wasn't even foreign money. I just needed money. And I went to an ATM at the casino and the fee was $18 to get money out. So I agree with him on that. But when you get money in a foreign country, it really is a good way to get foreign currency. So I don't mind doing that as long as it's not $20 to get out. Usually it's like $3 or $4 to get out. Number 6, he says, know you can rest your head anywhere. And I agree with that to an extent. Obviously, I don't really want to sleep under a bridge, which some of my friends have done in the past. However, you can stay at a hotel, you can stay at a hostel, you can stay at an Airbnb, you can stay at couch surfing. If you don't know what couchsurfing.com is, couchsurfing.org. It is a place where people can open up their homes to other travelers, say, I'm okay with people staying here. And usually they do it for completely free. You might buy them dinner or something like that, but then you open up your home as well when somebody comes to visit you. So know that there are a lot of options out there for places to stay while you're traveling. Number 7, learn how to maximize your miles and your flights. Get your flights for free. I have looked into this. I am not quite organized enough to figure this out yet. However, there are tons of groups out there on Facebook that will teach you travel hacking, your credit card hacking. You get certain credit cards and you can earn your miles to get free flights. So if that's something you're interested in, there are quite a few groups out there on Facebook. Just search for, I believe there's one called 10 Times Travel, and other ones are they're credit card hacks for travel as well. They'll teach you what credit cards to get and kind of how to play the system so that you can get a lot of flights for free. Number 8, this one, of course, is very important. Budget like a pro. And what this means is you just want to make sure that you can afford the trip that you're going on. Make sure that you know what things are going to cost. Have a general idea. Obviously, you're not going to know down to the dollar. You know how expensive the city is that you're going to. I personally love to have everything paid for in advance. I know hotels don't always make you pay in advance, but for me, if I can pay off that hotel 4 months in advance, then all I'm worried about on the trip is food. And that to me is an amazing trip because then I don't have to think about it. So just make sure that you are budgeting and you're budgeting for over what you think it's going to cost, because things always tend to cost more, especially when you're on vacation. For some reason, there's something in our brains that say, I can spend whatever I want when you're on vacation. So I know mine does anyway. I'm like, an $18 beer? Yeah, great. I'm on vacation. And then I get home and I'm like, why would I spend that? So just know that, just make sure that you're budgeting correctly while you go on vacation. Number 9, and this is something I always tell people, especially as a travel agent, is make sure you buy travel insurance. If this last couple years has taught us anything, it is that travel insurance is actually really, really great. I buy travel insurance with everything I use, or every trip I go on, even small trips. And you know what? I do it for clients as well. I do travel agent stuff, and it is really, really important. When COVID first hit, all my clients got their money back for their trips because of travel insurance, because we talked about it and decided that travel insurance was very important, even though COVID wasn't a thing yet when they booked their trips. So it's not that much money, and I will tell you, in the end, it is so, so worth it. So make sure you're looking into travel insurance every time you go on a trip. I do hope that you have enjoyed this list. Again, it came from Nomadic Matt. I'm going to put his link below because I think he's great and I follow him, and he has some really, really great tips. And you can follow more about what he does. Don't forget to subscribe below, and thank you for following us, and we'll see you in our next video.